Hey guys, in this video I want to talk a little bit about my FPV setup and how I record my DVR recordings. For the videos I make, I get a lot of questions about that, and I figure I'd just make a video and direct them to this video because I seem to be answering the same questions over and over. Anyway, so just the goggle that I use, the main goggle I use is my Fat Shark Diameter V3s. This is the one that I use pretty much all the time. I have tried other goggles and you've seen other videos on it. This is my day-to-day use goggle. I am using a Relay CC RX5808 diversity receiver with the Achilles, I believe it's a 2.0 firmware on here, and that seems to be working pretty good. This is a very good diversity receiver. It's not the latest and greatest, but I actually like this one a lot. I get very good reception on the diversity setup here. For the antennas that I've been using, I've kind of been switching around. For a while I was using a combination of these two omnidirectional antennas. This is, let's get this camera to focus. I've been using the Luminar Axie and the TBS Triumph antennas, and I was using them in a 90-degree fashion where they were at a 90-degree angle to each other, so I get coverage in both directions here, and it would switch between these two, and that seemed to be working okay. But since I fly a lot of micros with linear whip antennas, I decided to switch things up and instead go to this patch antenna here. This is the Bandicoot Menace patch antenna, and I mainly use this one here along with actually this antenna here. This is an Axie clone, so I switched from the real Axie here, this Luminar Axie, to this Relay CC UX2 clone. It's supposed to be, I actually have no idea what's in this antenna, if it's even a real clone or not of this antenna here, but this is what I've been using, and I've been kind of comparing the results lately of these two antennas. They seem to be pretty much the same in terms of reception, at least for distances up to about 200 meters. I don't fly further than that, so I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about range. I almost never fly further than 200 meters away, so if you guys are having questions about range past 200 meters, sorry, I don't have any answers about that, so wouldn't know anything about that. But this is what I've been flying mostly lately, is these two antennas here. This is the Relay CC UX2 and then the Menace Bandicoot antenna. And I've been switching between this one for when I'm flying my micros with linear patch antennas, and then when I'm not flying the patch antennas, I've been using this antenna here. This is the Relay CC triple feed patch antenna. I have no idea how this one works, but this one works really well with omnidirectional antennas, and I've been using it on larger, like 5-inch drones with the Foxtrot Pagoda Pro antenna, some other types of Pagoda antennas, and if I have like the Triumph antenna on the drone itself, I usually use this patch antenna instead of the Bandicoot, because the Bandicoot is actually meant for linear whip antennas. And actually, I can tell the difference. I think that with the Bandicoot patch antenna, this one looks better in more situations, especially when you're flying through a lot of trees. This one seems to pick up the signal better than just using two omnidirectional antennas. Now for the batteries, I've been switching between the original Fat Shark batteries that I've been using. This one is an 1800 milliamp hour Fat Shark battery, and then I've been using this like third-party UFO branded 1600 milliamp hour 2S battery. This has a much longer barrel plug here than the original, so it's a little bit annoying because it's just sometimes get in the way. I'm not sure why it's so long, but I've been testing these batteries and the performance is fairly similar between these two. The runtime is about the same, even though this one has supposedly a little more capacity. I think the price difference is quite a bit different too. I'm not sure exactly what the price is now, but I believe you can get two of these for the price of one of the originals. So I have two of these and I have two of the Fat Sharks, and I've been using all of them just fine, and I have no issues with running out of power. I would say, since the runtime is pretty similar, my estimation on the runtime on these is at least 15 to 20 flights of approximately 3 minutes. So that's my guess as to how long this lasts. You can usually fly it's a pretty good session with one of these batteries, so I have no problem. I usually just take two of these and I almost never go to the second one when I go through a bunch of batteries during a flight session. Now for the actual recording of the DVR footage, mostly been using the onboard DVR that's on the goggles themselves, but I've been switching to this new DVR that I've installed here. This is the HMDVR-S. This is actually could be used for goggles. It could also be used directly on board a little micro drone, and I'll probably have a video later where I put that onto a micro drone because you take it out of the case and it's really tiny. And I actually have this set up where I can connect it right here. I switched between this one and the internal one because this one has a firmware issue currently, and it records NTSC at 720p, so you get 1280 by 720, and the bit rate's about 16 megabits. So when I'm flying an NTSC camera, I usually record to this one here. But if it's PAL, what happens is the PAL camera or the signal gets chopped off or gets cut off on the bottom on this particular DVR. So I don't use this DVR for the PAL recordings. I use the original DVR that's in here for the PAL recordings, and that records at 640 by 40 or VGA, and that's 8 megabits bit rate. Now I'm not sure how much interest there is in you guys learning about how to wire this up to your goggles, to the recording. Basically, I rerouted the wires inside the goggle to send the video signal out to this DVR instead. Actually, I can record to either one if I want to, or both. If there's interest in this, let me know in the comments below. If we get a lot of comments, I might make a separate video on how to set this up. But it's not particularly that interesting, and I'm not sure if there's that much interest in doing that. But let me know in the comments below. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you want to see, sample footage of the stuff that I've been using here, it's in all the previous videos over the past, I would say about a month and a half or so. So, we're talking about 100 videos or so. And so you can see that what the quality of the actual recordings are from this setup here, from all this equipment. So hopefully that answers all your questions. Let me know if you have any other additional questions, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.